So tonight, I got to watch a criminally underrated DreamWorks movie. This was Rise of the Guardians. It was released in 2012 and was the last DreamWorks movie that was distributed by Paramount Pictures because they had a deal that started with Over the Hedge and then ended here with Rise of the Guardians. And unfortunately, this movie ultimately lost DreamWorks $87 million at the box office. It bombed because it was more marketed to be some spoof of all these things, but it wasn't. Let's get into that. This movie is phenomenal. It just truly is. Where do I begin? Let's talk about the voice acting. You know, if there was anyone that I pictured to play Jack Frost, the only person I could think of, it's Chris Pine. He is absolutely perfect in this. This is probably the best role. It's probably the best thing he's ever done. I mean, I know Chris Pine has been a part of other projects like Princess Diaries and some of the Wonder Woman movies, but I haven't seen those. Right now, Jack Frost is his best role to date. I think he's just perfect. Yeah. Alec Baldwin also does a really good job as the Russian Santa, Hugh Jackman as the Easter Bunny, Jude Law as the Boogeyman, which it's actually a really good villain. Some people don't like him, but I think he's really good, and he also helps raise the stakes. Now, give me just a moment, because one of the celebrities in here I've had trouble pronouncing for several years. Okay. Isla Fisher. Yeah, I have trouble pronouncing the first name, but she's also really good as the Tooth Fairy, aka the biggest simp of this movie, who simps over Jack Frost. Sorry if I use the word simp. That's so 2020. The world of this movie is also just amazing. We get to see this movie's interpretation of the North Pole in the colony where the Hugh Jackman rabbit lives, as well as the world the Tooth Fairies go. Also, the little Tooth Fairy little creatures, they're adorable. I'm just saying it. Okay, so I also want to talk about my favorite scene of the whole movie. The scene where Jamie believes. And I think the two best things about it, one, seeing how happy Jack is that someone finally sees and hears him, and the score. I love the score of this movie, the track called Jamie Believes, 10 out of 10. No. 11 out of 10. Greatest track of the whole movie. Wouldn't change a thing about it. The climax is also really great. Being able to see all these kids believe, and then ending it off with a fun snowball fight, it's just amazing. And also it also felt grand, seeing these creatures that the Sandy made. Oh, I also forgot to mention the Sandy. I think that's his name. He's also really good. It got a little emotional, when he kind of died. Now, that's also another thing about this movie. It wasn't made to be some spoof of these characters. It's just supposed to be what it is. It can be kind of dark sometimes, and sometimes it could be lighthearted, and overall, amazing. But the scenes with the creatures, those dinosaurs, and horses going by in gold, it felt a lot more grand, and I just fell in love with the entire movie. Well, well, I didn't fall in love with it right here. I fell with a lot with in love with it a lot earlier, like just seeing, just everything. And another like little thing to know how dark it is, sometimes it can be, is the coloring. Like in the opening, and then like when Jack learns about his memories. And another thing that I never knew until like I also watched the credits. I also didn't know that Roger Deakins was a creative was a visual consultant. I mean, I learned something new. Like, not only did he do the whole How to Train Your Dragon trilogy, but he also worked on one of the most underrated DreamWorks movies out there. And I'm kind of a little bummed out because after this, like, they would just go on to make garbage. Well, mostly garbage. They did have some great stuff like How to Train Your Dragon 2, but oh, and also How to Train Dragon 3. Like this, because like after this, they signed a deal with 20th Century Fox. Then after that, they were bought out by Universal. But like they mostly just, I just haven't been in love with DreamWorks all that much. Like, cause they've just been doing a lot of garbage, like Boss Baby and Trolls. They just play it all safe. Everything has to be too family friendly-fied. But no. Someday, like DreamWorks or Universal, if you're watching this, please do something great. Like, if you happen to take bold risks, not talk down to the audience, any of that stuff, that would be amazing. Because, like, I want to see you guys soar. I want to see you guys do amazing things, like you did in the good old days. Because they don't make movies like they do anymore. Hopefully someday DreamWorks will make something magical like this movie. Because like I want to see them succeed again. I want to see them do great things. That's Rise of the Guardians. And Rise of the Guardians did show that DreamWorks is capable of doing great things.